Hello everyone, welcome to this video about some more amazing Django phrases, and this is part of a whole new project, whole new system I'm working on, which I will explain after this intro. So I'm very happy to announce that my rhythm changes course is finished and people really seem to like it. I got a lot of good feedback both on YouTube and from my Patreon backers, from my patrons. So I figured, you know what, I should continue on this path because although there's many nice phrases within the rhythm changes system, if you're interested in that, I will put a link in the description. It's not really all that usable in other songs, in normal standards, just because of the fact that rhythm changes are its own animal. So what I did, or what I'm doing, is I'm going through all the recordings that Django made in Rome, one by one, and I'm notating all the phrases that I think that are interesting. Of course, I'm not looking at the rhythm changes anymore, I'm just looking at the other songs, and I'm putting them all in a big document in 3 categories. So I have major chords, minor chords, and dominant chords, and dominance also resolving to tonics, for example. So it's 3 categories, and then within those categories I have more divisions like scalar lines or lines based on arpeggios. And the plan is to make a series of videos in which I go through all the lines, and I'm alternating between a free video on YouTube like this one and a video just on Patreon, accessible only to my patrons. And if you want to be one of those patrons, check the link in the description, so you will have access to all the videos until I'm finished. And I don't know how many videos that will be, but there's lots of solos, lots of phrases, so maybe it's 10 videos. So 5 of them will be on YouTube, 5 of them will be on Patreon, each with its own PDF with all the phrases from that particular video. And then at the end, the last video will be also on Patreon, but only accessible to my highest level patrons, the so-called giant steppers, and they will also have access to one giant PDF with all the phrases from all the videos within categorized in the most efficient way I think possible and the easiest to learn from. But until then, let's just get on with today's video and look at the phrases. I have 5 for you. I have 2 major ones, 1 minor and 2 dominants. So let's look at the first phrase, and all the phrases, by the way, will be in C major. So it doesn't matter if the solo I transcribed it from is originally in another key, I will transpose everything to C major, so you will have one document in one key, which makes it much easier to see the connections and to also transpose it to different keys. So this is the first phrase. It's a C major phrase. It sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. It's a very long phrase, it's 4 bars. So of course you could just, if you have a song with only 2 bars of a major chord, you could play the first 2 bars. Or the last 2. Or you can play them at the end of an A part, for example, and then, because if the end of the A part ends on a major chord and the beginning of the next part is also a major chord, you'll probably have 4 bars. So to demonstrate everything, I'm going to use Coquette, because it's slow and it has all the chord types in it, and it's easy to play it on that backing track. And the backing track is free on YouTube. I made one, I will link it. So we can play this, for example, at the last 2 bars, on the last 2 bars of the A part. But then of course we have to play it in D, and in C it's basically played from the first position of C, from my Van Hemert fretboard system. I will link a video in the description if you don't know what I'm talking about. So in D I have to play it here, right? So let me play it on the backing track of Coquette. I will yell when I start. So I'm going to play it on the last two bars of the A part. So D, E minor, A7, E minor. Here we go. It's not the easiest phrase, but it is very doable. And of course, experiment with the phrases, be free with the phrases, change the rhythms. I won't demonstrate that because that takes a long time. But if you watch any of the other videos on my channel, you will see me working with it, with phrases and being free with them. I'm trying to make the video shorter. So next major phrase sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. It's basically just a scale in C broken up into sections. And it is from this position of the C major scale. Maybe you know this fingering. It's a very easy fingering where you have the two on each set of two strings. You have the same fingers, right? 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, wide, and then the close the same. 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, and then 1, 3, 4. So in that scale fingering, you have this fragment. And Django likes to place phrases in that scale shape, I've noticed. So it's nice to practice it like that. Of course, you can experiment with this phrase very easily, but to give you an idea how to play a major scale and not just make it sound like a major scale, it's very good to study stuff like this, right? You have some scale up with a chromatic lead tone, F sharp, and then stop, and then go back a few notes, and then go up a little bit further than you did before. Of course, you can continue like that. Right, stuff like that would be very helpful to practice if you look at what other people did to start with. So you find a motive and then you practice the motive yourself in different variations. Now let me play this phrase on Coquette. Of course, we have to play it in D, so then it would be here. And now it starts on the 1 bar, but you don't have to start on the 1. You can also start on beat 3, for example. Let me play around with it a little bit. Oh, that was in C, sorry, in D. Now we're going to play it in D, in G, sorry. So in the bridge we have a 2, 5, 1 to G. So when the G chord hits, we can play it in G, and it would be right here. And what I did now, when I just played, I didn't play the rest. I just went on because I only had 2 bars, and as you can see, this phrase is actually almost 3 bars. So again, you can be free with the phrases, and this is a particularly good one to be free with, very easy to work with. Let's go to the next one. So this is a minor phrase, and the minor phrases in this PDF will all be in D minor, right? Because that's a minor chord you would find a lot in a song in C. And this one sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. D minor, 3, 4. So on Coquette we have an E minor chord, so then we play it here. It's in the first position of E minor. And we play it with the backing track. D, and here we go. course, we end, if I would play it in E minor, we end on this D, but then the D would be the 1 and actually it's A7 chord. So maybe you want to go to a C sharp to play on the A7. Let me try that. Here we go. So the bridge, we have A minor, so we can play it right here. Again, we got D7, so maybe we want to resolve to F sharp. And then we have a G chord and we can play. Right? Or we can play the first phrase, this one. Just play around with the phrases in different combinations. Okay, let's go to our first dominant phrase. So this one from G7 to C. As you can see, it's 2 bars G7, and then it's again, it's actually 4 bars of C. So you would play this, if you want to play the whole phrase, you would play this in coquette on the first A, on A7, 2 bars, and then you have 2 bars of D, and then you again have 2 bars of D in the beginning. So then you would have 4 bars of D, so you can play this phrase. So let me first play it like it's written in the tab in C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Let me play it in D first. So if we play it in D, we can play it really up high, but you can also play it here. So let me play that on coquette. D, E minor. Here we go. Do it again. Start on the wrong fret. One, two, three. The X's in the PDF means ghost notes. So you play. Like you want to play, you don't play. So you just play a muted note, and that's for rhythmic purposes. Of course, you can play it in the bridge. 1, 2, 3. It's D7. But you can also only play it until there because the G in the bridge is only 2 bars. Let me try that. So we continue. Here comes the bridge. 1, 2, 3. E7. Okay, now the last dominant phrase. This one, it says G7 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. But in fact, Django plays this originally on D7 to G7. So 2 bars D7, 2 bars G7. But the D7 2 bars is very bluesy. So you could actually play this even on if it would be a C chord or even just 4 bars of G7, it would work, especially when the tempo is fast. But the nice thing is in coquette, we actually have E7 to A7 in the bridge, and that would fit perfectly. So first let me play it like it's written here in C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, sorry, 3, 4, 1. In the beginning when you play it, the double notes, they feel awkward. But it really works, especially when you play it up tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then we resolve to C. So when we played Coquette, we played 2 frets higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you don't have to do the pull off like it's written here. You can, or you can just pick it. Probably when it's slower, like Coquette here, I would pick it. But if it's really up tempo, probably pull off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me play that on Coquette in the bridge on E7. And in the other parts of the song, I will just improvise. I will try to play some of the other phrases. Go. Okay, there you go. As you can see, you have to just experiment with the phrases and see where they land. And of course, not only on this song, but on other songs as well. And this is just the start. This is just the first 5 phrases. And you need many more phrases to make a whole solo. That's why I have to play other stuff. But in the end, it should be possible to play a very interesting solo only with the stuff that you will learn in this series. I hope you liked it, and consider becoming a patron of mine so you won't miss any of the series. And then you will see the second video in the series, which will be very shortly online. You can see it on Patreon, or you can see the third video in the series again on YouTube, and I will see you in that video. Bye!